our responsive reading this morning, we're going to read from 2 Samuel chapter 21 and some selected scriptures. It's our custom to stand together in honor of the Word of God when the scripture is read. And we invite everyone to join in as we read together. The scriptures are printed in your bulletin. Then there was a famine in the days of David, 3 years, year after year, and David inquired of the Lord, and the Lord answered, "It is for Saul and for his bloody house, because he slew the Gibeonites."
Wherefore David said unto the Gibeonites, "What shall I do for you? And wherewith shall I go to them, that ye may bless the inheritance of the Lord?"
And the Gibeonites said unto him, "We will will have no silver nor gold of Saul, nor of his house, neither for us shalt thou kill any man in Israel. And he said, What ye shall say, that will I do for you.
And they answered the king, The man has sweet us, and that advised against us, that we should be destroyed from remaining the opinion of the coasts of Israel.
Let 7 men of his sons be delivered unto us, and we will hang them up unto the Lord in Gibeah of Saul, whom the Lord did choose. And the king said, I will give them.
And he delivered them into the hands of the Gibeonites, and they hanged them in the hill before the Lord. And they fell all 7 together, and they were put to death in the days of harvest, in the first days, in the beginning of the harvest.
And Rizpah, the daughter of Aiah, took sackcloth and spread it for her upon the rock, from the beginning of harvest until water dropped upon them out of heaven, and suffered neither the birds of the air to rest on them by day, nor the beasts of the field by night. Thank you. Be seated, please. The title of our message this morning is Rizpah, Why Are You Here on the Hill of Gibeah? First, I would like to ask this question of several different people. We will begin with the sons of Saul. The sons of Saul are impaled on trees. They're hung on trees. And they're dying on those trees. And there's a little mother that came and brushed away the animals and the things that would come to devour their flesh. And she watched her sons being crucified on trees. 7 sons of Saul died that day because of the crime and the sin of their father Saul. That's an imputation of demerit. And we asked the sons of Saul, as we stand below the trees and look up into the trees where they're hanging there crucified, and we asked them the question, why are you here on the hill of Gibeah? And with swollen lips, parched and cracked and swollen tongues, they answer back, we are here because our father sinned. We didn't do it. We weren't responsible for it. But our father sinned and we are paying the price. The sentence of death had been passed upon them because of Saul's sin of slaying a group of people called the Gibeonites. They died because of the disobedience of Saul. They were accounted evil because their father was evil. They must bear the sin of their father. This is an imputation of demerit. Then we see a representation in 1 Samuel chapter 17. In 1 Samuel 17, there is a challenge made to Israel by the Philistines. And a man by the name of Goliath, who was nearly 10 feet tall, challenged Israel, and Israel had no man to send up against him. No one dared to go against this 10-foot tall giant named Goliath. And we read in 1 Samuel 17:4, there went out a champion out of the camp of the Philistines named Goliath of Gath, whose height was 6 cubits and a span. That's 9 3/4 feet tall. And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, and said unto them, Why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am I not a Philistine, and ye the servants of Saul? Choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. That is, choose yourself a representative, and let him come and fight with me. If he be able to fight with me and to kill me, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall ye be our servants and serve us. So Goliath is issued a challenge to Israel. He proposes a two-man representation. You send your man against me, and I will go against your man, and no man need to die in Israel. It'll just be one of us, you or me. The winner take all. If I prevail against your Israelite representative, then you have to become our servants, all of Israel. And if I prevail, if you prevail, and if I prevail, then we will make you our servants. So it's going to be a two-man battle. No need for all these other soldiers to be engaged in the warfare. Now, the life of every Israelite rested on the shoulders of David that day. You'll remember the young man David. David said, as he came into the camp and saw the consternation of the Israelites and found out that challenge had been made, he said, Who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? I'll go and fight him. There wasn't a man in Israel willing to go up against Goliath, a 10-foot tall giant with a huge sword. David said, I'll go and fight with him. And David picked up 5 smooth stones out of the brook, and took his slingshot, in which he was an expert with that sling. And David went down into the valley of Elah to face Goliath. And there, resting on David's shoulders that day, was the fate of all Israel. All resting on one man, and what one man would do. Would he fail, or would he be a victor? And they were dependent upon David that day. When Adam was placed in the garden, God made him our representative. In other words, he could have said to Adam like this, Adam, I'm placing you in the Garden of Eden, and you are going to represent all of your posterity. You will be the representative of all the people. Every man, every woman, every boy, every girl will come from your loins, and you will be their representative. And if you obey me, then you and they will live forever. If you disobey me, you will die, and they will all die with you. Even though they're not born yet, the sentence of death is going to be passed upon them if you disobey me. Now we know what Adam did. He failed. He disobeyed. And he died. Spiritual death. And when he died, all of his posterity that would be born of him, that's us, died also that death. That's why we come into this world dead in trespasses and in sins. We were made sinners by Adam, and we became sinners by choice. So we're sinners two ways. By imputation of Adam's sin, and by our own choice to sin. In the garden, Satan knew what God had in mind. And he knew that if he could down Adam there in the garden, he could condemn the entire human race. And that's what happened. That brings us to life's greatest question. Now, back in the book of Joshua, there were a bunch of Gibeonites. And Joshua made a league with them, and he made a covenant with them, and he said, we will not destroy you when we come into the land. We will let you live. And he made a covenant with them. And he promised them life. But when Saul became king, the first king of Israel, he rode roughshod over the Gibeonites, and he slew them and murdered them. And he broke the treaty, and he broke the covenant that Joshua had made with the Gibeonites in the name of the Lord. And now, these surviving Gibeonites